Hey everyone, so I put a bunch of quiz bots in here with all different answers. Some of them require true, false, some require yes, no, some require yes, yes, no. So this one here's the yes, yes, no, and the way you work out what answer I'm after is come into the flow builder, and the questions tell you what answer is the correct one so that you can just modify it and write your question accordingly. So your question might be like, have you saved a deposit? Have you just saved 20% deposit? Have you got a good credit score rating? Whatever. And if the answer you're after to get the point is yes, and that's what you want, you word your answer to get that. So in this case, I've gone yes, yes, no. Now, there's two ways you can check. One is in the question there. The other one is in the condition here. It should say no there and no there. So, for example, if you wanted to swap this to yes, you'd have to ask a question that required them to say yes. You'd click on that, and over here you'd change it to yes there, and you'd change that word. You'd click on that, and you'd change that to yes as well. So you'd need to go up and go edit message first of all. And then that would actually do it for you. So as long as whatever you have written right there is the same as what that one there is going to get saved as, then you'll be okay. So this one here's a yes, yes, no. Now I'm also going to create what we call a weighted yes, yes, no, or a weighted yes. And what that means is, so as an example, say you're issuing loans, and some factors are really important and others you want to know about and they affect it, but they're not as important. So as an example, let's say if they were required to have 20% deposit was the biggest, most important thing of all. What we can do is we give that a weighting. So all we're going to do is change this score in here. So rather than giving them all 1 for the 10 questions and adding them up to 10, what I can do is give them all a number, make them add up to say 20 or 30 or 40 or whatever, and then down here, when we get into the bottom part of the bot, what I would have to do is change these conditions. So rather than saying if the score is exactly 9, tell them they got 90%. What I'd have to do is change that to a condition. If the score is, say, greater than or equal to this and less than or equal to this, give them this message. If the score is greater than or equal to this and less than or equal to this, give them, this message over here. And obviously you're going to replace that message with an image and a message for what you want. And when it comes to designing your actual questions, what you want to do is, see I've got question number 5 is yes. That means they're going to score the point if they select yes. Question number 6, they're going to score the point if they select no. So if you wanted to give them a point for that one and to make them more eligible for a loan, you might say, hey, so you definitely don't, so is your credit rating bad? And they'd say no, and they'd get a point, and that would make them more qualified. Whereas if you said, is your credit rating good? And they said no, then that's going to give them a point, and maybe that's not going to add up to the answer you want. So use the points based on what that word there says to design your question to give them points to be able to deliver the message down the bottom based on how many points they score. Now don't forget, these quiz bots are just the sequence. You'll need to use growth tools over here on the left to design a growth tool to get into the bot, and that's quite simple. Just go to ManyChat, look up how to do it. All you really need to do is design a growth tool, and then when you go to opt-in actions, you need to subscribe them to the bot and select this bot. And then the other thing that you need to do is give them a get started button from the growth tool and point the growth tool at a flow, and then pick an existing flow and pick this one.